Yeah, this should be good. Belshire Vestige, I think, map both players more familiar with. Frost is
Yeah.
a new one. But let's see. We're loading in here. And this should be good. Songduri has a long way to go though to come back versus Polt. He looked very, very strong in that last game.
Yeah, I felt like definitely Polt was the better player there, so he has to change something up to be able to win this match, I feel.
Yeah.
But we want some Zerg to advance, right? Or I guess some Terrans too, because there are mostly Protosses left in this tournament.
Yeah, that is true. Not a terrible amount. I mean, just looking, think about some of the other games that we're gonna have. It's a good amount of Protoss. As far as this game goes, though, I don't think there's any reason for Polt to change up his strategy or what he really does.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does the Reaper opening and basically just rushes out that Viking again like he did on the last game. It's pretty much what Polt does. It's like super standard Polt. So
yeah, I think it's very nice that he's going for that Viking that we have been talking about. I mean, it's impossible for Zerg to get the map vision they want with the Overlords when the Vikings are out, and Polt makes it work, even though he delays some of his upgrades and stuff to get those Vikings out sooner.
yeah, I like. You can even see Songduri is a little bit worried about any potential of aggression. He sends out a very early drone scout, which, doesn't do anything versus a fast Reaper. So it's mostly just to check for a 2-racks. He could do harass if there was a command center first, but it's not. He doesn't even check there. First thing he does is go up to the ramp, and he'll see this barracks, so he can kind of poke this drone, but it's not too much. I like the reaction speed on Polt just raising that depot as soon as the drone tried to go up there. It's like, I can't block you from going in, but I'm going to make your journey a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's cute. Now the drone had to stay there for a little bit longer. But yeah, nothing special going on here. The hatch first going down from Songduri. I guess, the early drone scouts can have some different purposes. For example, if you see the command center first, then you can adapt, and either you can be really greedy or you can try to all in. So I guess that he wanted to know exactly what was going on, and now he knows that it's a Reaper expand.
I love that.
Yeah, that is so cute, right?
it's just like, I'll be leaving now, and he just slammed the door in his face, and he's like, there's another open area though. But
yeah,
Songduri takes his gas.
But it's annoying. The drone had to take the longer path to get out of there, so
it's true.
Good little cute moves from Polt, I think.
It's also possible, I've seen it happen before, even to like my own workers, is when you change the depot like that, it can actually just mess up the pathing, and the unit can just get stuck like on the depot.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to
if Songduri
be careful.
wasn't paying attention, then theoretically Polt could trap him. It'd be pretty neat to see that, to be honest. Like if you just snag the drone, but
yeah.
The Reaper is coming in, and the command center's on the way, so Polt is just doing his standard thing so far, really. He has not changed it up at all.
And again, Songduri is going for 6 Zerglings, and that's not very common to see, actually. Usually you see Zerg players go for 2 or maybe 4, just to be able to defend versus the Reaper until the Queens are out. But he's making 6 Zerglings, so he's definitely going to try to get over to Polt's base and maybe delay the Hellions from getting out so he can get his fast third base down again.
Yeah. I like it. You just keep the map control as much as possible, and as long as he's careful, he shouldn't have to lose the Reaper like he did last game. But of course, you have to watch out those Queens, man. The range on those bad boys does a great job of keeping the Reapers away. And Songduri this time, we talked about this last game about additional Queens. He is going to build a 3rd Queen, but no 4th one just yet. So he has the Zergling speed and just 3 Queens. Not the craziest amount of like greed or like creep spread as far as the Queen count goes.
Yeah, definitely. So the creep spread is not going to be as good. It's not like Scarlet or some of the other Zergs that has this crazy good creep spread, which I actually prefer. But yeah, he's going for the 3rd Queen, and he's probably going to take the 3rd base really, really soon. I would like to see him moving out with the drone about now, I would say. So we will see it very soon. No gas is mining for him. He just started mining gas just as I said that, but yeah.
Yeah, you're a wizard. The drone is here. He's taking the 3rd base, and Polt is doing his standard thing. The starport, he started the gas immediately afterwards, and we should see that fast Viking. It's just the Polt way. It's the way to do it like Polt. And
the Polt Viking.
Yeah, the Polt Viking.
Let's see, will he build a Viking?
It's so mind-blowing.
There is no
to
Viking
me.
building. Okay, there it is.
I say it's so mind-blowing to me that Polt is one of
Yeah, he's like the only Terran
He's the
player.
only Terran that does
Yeah.
it, and like all the other Terran players are like starting to lose more versus Zerg, and Polt's just like, yeah, I win championships, but nobody does the same build as me for whatever reason. I really like it for denying the Overlord spread. Songduri doesn't even spread his Overlords out that much. He kind of anticipates it at this point. Like, he only has one Overlord out on Polt's side of the field just watching the natural.
Yeah, he actually has two, one for the natural and one in between the main and the natural. He sneaked one by there when he knew that there was the Reaper expand.
It was only 2 last game as well. Polt only got 2 kills with the Vikings, so it's kind of neat. The Zerglings try to do some counter harass, but Polt he's safe. He's got that wall.
But it's also really good with the Viking because lots of Zergs are going more and more for the Overlord speed nowadays to spread the Overlords like all over the map to get that map vision. But with the Viking out, it's going to be really hard for the Zerg player to get the map vision, even with the Overlord speed.
I wonder if Songduri is feeling paranoid. I mean, he opens up with the roaches. It's not something crazy because there's a double evolution chamber. He should start the lair soon. But he also gets spore crawlers in the main and the natural. It seems like he's really worried about a follow-up of like a mine drop or something. And it's only funny to me because Polt hasn't done anything like that. He has the potential to try to drop maybe Hellions, but I mean, at that point, the Spore Crawler won't do too much. Roaches do manage to grab a Hellion.
I think he has to make the Spore Crawlers, actually, because what if there are Banshees coming? He doesn't know, so he has to make them in case of Cloak Banshees, because his lair is kind of late. Actually, I thought that he was going to start the upgrades before the lair, but he's not. He has the gas, he has the money for the upgrades, so we are probably going to see them very soon. And let's see if it's Ling or Roach upgrades, because that's not obvious at this point.
Ah, it's Zergling. He's getting the melee upgrades, so I like this. The Roach Hydra did not work at all for him in the last game. And this is a bit of a smaller map too, so those Zerglings can be good for the counterattacks and the harass. There's a good amount of there's a couple like the way that the lanes are spread out in the center of the field. So burrow as well for Songduri. I love early burrow and the Baneling Nest now.
I actually like it a lot too, because you can just spread out some Banelings and burrow them at positions where you know that the Terran player is going to attack, and that is going to prevent so many attacks from the Terran player. And even if Polt knows that there is burrow on the map, then he will have to scan a lot, and that costs money too. So I think it's good to go for the early burrow. Yeah,
it can be really effective in a lot of ways, even just spreading out Zerglings for vision. But he's trying to attack this bunker. Polt does manage to return in time to defend it. I like this. He sends units out, but he always manages to keep that wall up. He's not really vulnerable to counterattacks at all so far this game. And 2 medevacs are making their way towards the main base. The Hellions on the left side running to the side, and all the Zerglings are on the map. Here he is. He can actually snipe the Baneling Nest, I think.
Yes, he can. He definitely can. And also he brought the Widow Mine with his forces, so when the units are coming back for Songduri, there is going to be this Widow Mine killing so many Lings here. He didn't get that many actually, but Songduri is losing a lot here. He had no vision of the map. He had no idea that this was coming. Yeah, and also there are some units coming into the third base.
Yeah, the Hellions managed to run in. Didn't get too much, but that Baneling Nest dies, so no Baneling Nest, no Baneling speed either. That upgrade delayed quite significantly. There's another Baneling Nest already halfway complete, so Songduri kind of looked at it and he's like, well, I'm probably going to lose this. And Polt being active on the map, this is just what he does. He's not ahead in upgrades. The +1/1 will finish over a minute ahead for Songduri, but I really like the way that Polt just keeps the aggression, and he's one of the few Terran players, I think, that doesn't actually get the upgrade advantage. So many of them love to get the double engineering base very early on.
That Widow Mine managed to kill a few more drones. I think it was only like 1 or 2 though, but still it's really annoying because now Songduri has to morph that Overseer to kill off the Widow Mine. And still he has no vision if there are medevacs coming into his main base. He must have some kind of detection there at the main, I feel.
Yeah, he's picking off some of these creep tumors, Polt, now on the field. And I just love this. He's keeping him back. A Zergling was there to harass the third base. Polt sent some Marines, was able to save it. There are a lot of Banelings being morphed on the left side. These Roaches coming in, forcing Polt to evacuate this area. I'm wondering if he'll see this. This could just be a huge Zergling Baneling assault with this +1/1 that he has. He doesn't have the Baneling speed, which is going to make this a lot more difficult to work. He does already have 3 bunkers. I don't know how I feel about this, Matalisk.
Wow, it's going to be really tough to pull something off here. If he had attacked like 1 minute sooner before the 1/1 was finished for Polt, it could have done a lot of damage, but now it's going to be really tough here. Let's see if Polt can split his units. And the Banelings, they are being trapped behind the Roaches. I think that was a big mistake from Songduri.
Yeah, I mean,
But still, he's making a lot of damage here.
Yeah, he's still pushing it back. The Zerglings try to stream in. He has the SCVs trying to repair the wall. He's splitting off some roaches towards the third base. More Banelings, 16 being morphed right here by this base. And as the roaches break through this, Polt, he's in a lot of trouble. His +1/1 has finished, but he's lost all of his units. His army supply so low here. It's 46 to 65, and the Banelings are going to come in. The SCVs being pulled. They don't do very well versus Banelings. Decent split, though.
Yeah, his splits are just impeccable all the time. I think Polt has one of the best splits in StarCraft 2 right now, and yeah, I think that Polt is gonna hold this. Actually, he's gonna take a lot of damage. He lost a lot of units, but I think that he will survive. And if he survives, he has a 2/2 on the way, and that's before Songduri.
Yeah, Songduri has the melee coming in, but that's another really good point is the tech. The Spire has just started. I think Songduri is starting to realize he won't be able to kill Polt here, as these Marines do continue to just pump out. He's killed a lot of SCVs. Polt still needs to be very careful about these Banelings. Some of the Widow Mines do come off cooldown. Not able to pick the Banelings off, but I think Polt lost a lot. Songduri has to be feeling good about himself, mostly because he's at double the worker count, but there's a lot of potential for Polt to make a comeback here with the Medivacs, I feel.
Yes, definitely, but also the Spire is on the way, so if Polt cannot pull anything up with the Medivacs, then Songduri is in a good position either way. And the 2/2 is started for Songduri too, even that +2 carapace, so the upgrades are going to be quite even, actually, for the 2/2.
Yeah. These Banelings being morphed in the center of the field will get caught a little bit. And the supply is very close, but there's double the workers for Songduri, so that, I mean, obviously means that Polt has a lot of army supply, but we have to take into consideration that a good bit of Polt's supply is actually his Medivacs. He has 7 of them, so 14 supply, basically just floating in the air to heal that bio. And I'm kind of wondering what he does now. He has to resaturate his natural expansion. He doesn't have the third base anymore. He moved the command center back. It almost actually was destroyed. And we see Songduri already just running Banelings over towards the right side. He wants to smash this wall down.
Yeah, it seems so, but there is no base behind that wall, so he can smash the wall down, and that Polt will not really mind, I guess. Polt is moving out though with a small bioforce, and I think it's a good choice. He's just moving out. I don't think he's gonna commit to this. He just wants to maybe kill off some creep and put some pressure, forcing some units from Songduri, and Songduri is morphing 13 Banelings, so it's definitely working.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Those Banelings went over to check the third out. They're going to try to make their way into the natural, and he did burrow a few, but the Widow Mines shut that down without too much trouble. Does pick off an SCV or 2 with those, but the 2/2 is about to finish up for Polt. The +2 attack is finished for Songduri. So it's still even as far as the upgrades go, and now we're seeing Mutalisks enter the game. 5 on the way. Not a crazy amount, but he can still do a little bit of harass and chase Medivacs after fights if Polt doesn't take good trades.
Yeah, and there is actually only 1 turret on the map, and that's in the main base, so he could do some damage with the Mutalisks if Polt is not aware of them coming.
Yeah, I do like this. Is now moving up to 8 Mutalisks total. The 2/2
oh,
is done.
The bird Banelings at the third! Oh my god, no!
Oh, that was so close. So you're,
oh my god!
You as the Zerg
all
player,
of the Marines would have died there.
You want to see
that's
that.
That's such a smart move to put the Banelings there.
It's painful for me. It's painful for me to think about this. There's so much potential damage that can be done. The right side base gets sniped off. Polt manages to kill it. No cancel. Still that hero Viking with 3 kills, just chilling.
Wow, and yeah, that is a hero Viking because it actually spotted that 4th base, so Polt knew that it was there. Mutas are on the way to the main base now, though, and I mean, it's not like they're going to do a lot of damage, but they might do some.
Yeah, it's not a crazy amount yet. He has 4 more on the way, so he'll be moving up to about 14. I think that's when you can start to do some damage. Banelings do run into the third base mineral line, pick off about half the SCVs there. There's been so many workers killed this game. 49 SCVs have died.
Wow. Yeah.
The Viking. Ooh, that was close. Those Mutalisks were flying scarily near the Viking, but he's coming up. He scans and he sees how many Banelings are with this force. 16. So he does have a good amount of damage he can do. Ooh, the Banelings coming in on their own behind the army. A decent bit of a flank as the Zerglings running at the same time, but I feel like that's a lot. Was that all of his Banelings? Yeah, all 16 are dead. He doesn't have any on the production tab. Polt's moving in with his force. The third base is being assaulted by the Mutalisks, but Polt has a really nice opportunity to deal some heavy damage. There's no Banelings at all to defend right now.
Oh no, and he is focus firing down that command center, and the Marines are shooting on the Mutalisks, and he's gonna lose his third base. What is gonna happen here? I don't think that Songduri can come back if he loses this third hatchery.
Yeah, this is a very tense moment. The Banelings are here, but all the Zerglings are gone. The Marines can split rather quickly. He can actually just lift up. He killed a lot of the Mutalisks, and they're all the ones that are left are in the top right. There's the split. The Baneling's gone. That third base destroyed, and the fourth hatchery on the left side has finished. But I don't see any way that Songduri can keep this alive.
No, I think it was a mistake from him to take that fight without the Banelings. He should have just sacrificed the third base and waited for the Banelings, and then he could have saved the fourth base. But now he's going to lose both the third and the fourth base, and Polt is still on 3 bases.
Yeah, I really like this. Very nice play from Polt. A couple medevacs just chilling over this Marauder in the center, but he's still keeping the medevac count really high as well. That's something that Polt's been just doing a fantastic job of so far this series. Songduri, a great bit of harass, but Polt manages to reclaim his third base. He has the missile turret going up. The natural and the main are pretty much mined out, but Polt still has more mining than his opponent. I think these medevacs are still just sitting here by his base. Needs to be careful.
Yeah, it's funny. Polt didn't actually start 3-3 here. I guess he felt that he was on too low of an economy to be able to afford it, and he's not mining gas. He's basically mining 0 gas at the moment. He just wants to get all of those Marines out to be able to do as much damage as possible, and he has a big bank of gas, so I guess he doesn't need to mine anymore. That's a mistake that we see a lot of turn players do. After a while in the game, they will have like 2,000, 3,000 gas and no minerals, but Polt actually took SVs out of gas at least to be able to not get too high of an gas count.
Yeah, I think that's really important, especially considering that he lost so many workers. He needs to keep what few he has, getting the minerals out, and he's done a great job of keeping his third base steady. That the Mutalisks can't do too much more, and there are Zerglings and Banelings here, but yeah, the Muttermine count's not that high. Polt, there's no actual base for him to kill on the left side, but he's just keeping himself postured in case he needs to move out and bring the fight. He has a lot of Marines coming out from that third base that were defending earlier, so the army supply. This looks so good for Polt. He's up 145 to 97. Somehow,
yeah, it looks really good for Polt. Both the supply, the income, everything.
At the start of this game too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot comes down to the fight at the third base of Songduri when he attacked with only Zerglings versus Marine Marauder Medevac. You don't want to do that.
No, it was really, I think, that big engagement with the third base and no Banelings. The Mutos are trying to harass some supply depots, but that's not really going to be enough. There's 2 missile turrets here. If Polt repairs them, he can't really break the third. And now the Marines are actually coming up with these medevacs, so Songduri will get forced back, loses 2 Mutalisks at the cost of, maybe 2-3 supply depots. Not necessarily worth it. And he's trying to inch these Widow Mines forward. There are some burrowed Banelings, and Polt's scan barely misses 2 just outside of that base.
Yeah, he actually scanned on the other side of them like a minute ago and barely didn't see them. But one thing, a very important thing that we should remember now is that Polt has 3-3, almost halfway completed, and there is not even an infestation pit started for Songduri. So versus 3-3 bio with medevacs, those Ling Bane forces are not going to do much, especially with a slow economy. It's not like Songduri can overwhelm Polt with a lot of units.
Yeah, Polt has just, man, there's the scan. He kills the Banelings. He's not going to be fooled, and he's bringing his mines forward. Just needs to spread them out a little bit. The Zerglings and Banelings are just going to try to run in on this, and the Marines split more than well enough. The Banelings do almost nothing. Widowmine takes a good chunk of these Zerglings out, and all Polt needs to do is be reasonably well split versus these Banes, and it looks like he's not going to take too much damage. He's up over 100 supply almost, and the third base is going to die. This is the last bit of economy. Some Banelings run in and crush that third, but it's not enough. GG Polt taking a 2-0 victory over Songduri in our first match today.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really surprising. We thought that Polt was going to win, but he is just showing so great CVT, and I don't know what can stop him.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. Polt plays Zerg versus Terran so well. It's really scary, but
yeah, and it's also, the funny thing is that it's been going on for so long time. Like, he won versus Jaedong 4-0 in WCS America, was it season 2 finals, I guess?
Yeah.
And he's been beating so many Zerg players, just demolishing them.
Yeah, it's scary how good he is. But sorry, I was making sure that we're listed on TL and everything. Looks like at least the tech stuff is all good. But yeah, as far as this qualifier goes, though, that does mean that Polt moves on, I believe, to the round of 8 for this.
Yeah.
So
he has to win one more match to advance into the Dreamhack Winter.
Yeah, And I believe we'll be covering those last matches tomorrow here. So we do have a good couple games left, though.
But I want some Zergs to advance.
Zergs.
You're just laughing. Is there no way?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Zergs.
Okay.